Welcome. So let me show you how I type this beautiful and automated invoice template in Excel. Complete automation. You can see the preview of the invoice now, and then we have some 5 control buttons. This button will actually print as PDF. This will send automatically to your customer by email. This will also send to them by WhatsApp. This will save the record of invoice for further and for future use, and then this will clear the invoice and make it ready for a new entry. So this 5 button actually helps to automate this entire process, so you don't have to worry about invoicing. And this template is actually is available in the description. Download it in the description with the complete code, complete formula, complete automation for your business. So let's go. Now let's start from scratch by creating this invoice. Thank you. Follow me. Alright, welcome back. Now that we are done with design, now let's begin the real work. This is where the real work begins. We begin to link our invoice with number one, with our customer database, and with where we want to save the record of our invoice. That's what we want to do right now. Now the first thing we should do is that first and foremost, we want to set my print area for this invoice. Let's begin to work. I'll go to layout, and then I will just say print area. I will set my print area, and then look at the preview. This is where we have the preview. You can see how beautiful it is. Now, so that by the time I print this invoice, Excel will not print anything outside of the print area. Now we'll go back. Now, another thing that we can do is that let's put a logo here for this particular invoice. So I'll go to insert. I'll say picture. I'll say in cell. I will insert from this device, and then I will simply go to my desktop. I've saved some icons here, so I'll pick this and then I'll insert. Then I'll simply have to drag it, or you can simply from this picture, your picture you can crop from here, you can resize from here, but I will simply drag it to fit into where I actually want it to fit to. So let me drag it. All right, I think this is good. All right, I think this is good. Now we can begin the linkages again. This is your company name, where you are going to have your name of your company. This is where you have your address, your phone number, your email, and your website, as the case may be. Then here, this is where the invoice number will be, date and time, and your validity. So let's work on this first. Now, the first thing we want to do here is that we want the invoice number to be generated automatically, and I want you to link it to this data, this table here. I want you to link it to this place. So the function that we use here is that, for example, I simply say mark equals to max, and then it says number one, I'll come to this invoice details, and then I will reference this entire cell, and then I'll press on enter, and then it says 0. So the max is going to be every time you import an invoice, I want it to give you a new invoice number. So I'm going to use that plus 0, and then you have that. So every time you import an invoice, you're going to have a new invoice number generated automatically. But if you don't like this, you can actually delete this function and input your invoice number manually. Then number 2 here, let's work on where we have the date and time. We want our date and time to be automatic, so we use the now function. We say equals to now. We open and close parentheses, and then we click on enter, and then it gives us the current date and the current time. So every time you prepare an invoice, you have the current date and the current time automatically for you, so you don't have to worry about date and time. And then we want to have a kind of validity here that we can give to our customers, maybe 5 days, 10 days, and all of that. So to do that, we want a drop down. We head to data, and then we come to data validation. We say list, and then here we type. We can have it as a 5 days. So we now have our validity, and then we simply click on OK. And then if you check here, you have a drop down, so you can select from here validity of your invoices that you want to give to your customer, depending on the type of invoice you want to use. You have from 5 days to 120 days. That's that about that. Now we actually done with this. Now here we want to link this, where the invoice is going to be, we want to link this to our customer database. Now, what the customer database will do is that it will help you to keep the record of all your customers, so that you don't have to worry about them. So by the time you have a new customer requesting for an invoice, you simply come here, input the details here, and every other time you want to issue an invoice to that particular customer, you don't have to worry again. So this is a customer database that even when you have 100,000 customers, more than that, you are still able to keep all of them in this database. So let's link it to our invoice. We want to link the name here. So here we use what we call data validation again. So we head to data validation, and then we go to list, and then in this source we want to come here. In this source we want to come here. We want to come here and reference all of this from here down. We want to reference everything there. Then we click on OK. So anytime you open all your customer, they will be displayed in this place. Their details will be displayed. Now that we have this, we can now link all of these so that anytime you select, all these details are automatically returned. Now let's do that. So we can say equals to slookup. Let's use the slookup function and say what's our lookup value. This is our lookup value. We say comma, and then it says lookup array. Then we come to our customer database. This is our lookup array. Let me take this up. This is our lookup array. So we want to pick from here. We want to look up the address of the customer. So we'll pick this. And then we say comma. And then say return array. This is the array. This is our return array. The address, since we are working on the address, this is our return array. And then we say comma. If not found, you can actually comment that out. And then you want exact match or approximate. So we want exact match. Click on OK. And then we simply close our parentheses, and then we press on enter. So we have our address returned for us. So anytime you select the name of any customer from here, you have their details returned. So going forward, let's return the phone number by saying equals to slookup. This is our lookup value. Now our lookup array, we come to the customer database. This is our lookup array, the name from here. And then we have return array. This time around, our return array is our phone number. This phone number here, we reference all. And then the if not found, you comment that out, and then we want exact match, and then we close, and then we have that phone number is back. The email address, we also return that with slookup. Slookup is our lookup value, and then our lookup array, we come here for our lookup array, and then we want to return the email address, and then now let's return the email address equals to slookup, and then this is our lookup value. Then our lookup array from our formula, come here, we want to, this is our lookup array, and then we have our return array. Our return array to be the email address. Simply return this. The if not found, we comment it out, and then we want exact match. Then press on enter. Then the website equals to slookup. This is our lookup, and then our array, come here. This is our lookup array, and then our return array. Our return array will be this last website, and then the if not found, we can comment it out, and we put in this, and then we press on enter, and then we have returned all the details of our customer. Now when you have a new customer, you simply come here. When you have a new customer, simply come here, enter the details here, and the details will be automatically returned. For example, I may want to copy this, and then just put it there, and then I may want to just change the name. let's say this is a new customer. Now let's go to our invoice. Now when you come here and you click this drop down, you see that you have it and the details is automatically returned. So you don't have to worry about all these. As long as you begin and you continue to enter your customer details here, they will automatically populate in this place, in this drop down. They will automatically populate in this drop down. Now we are done with that. Now another thing that we can do is that let's work on here. This is our description. This is our serial number where we had enter our serial number 1, 2, 3. But I would not want to enter it manually like that. So let's design an automatic system. We simply say equals to sequence. We use the sequence function to do that. It says sequence, then it says row. So we come here and then we use the count A. I want to use the count A function, the count 8 function, and then we put in this, the count 8 function, and then we close, and then we close, and then we press on enter. So by the time you enter, for example, let's say we want to enter product A here, you have your automatic sequence. Let's enter another one. You have the automatic sequence. As long as you continue to enter, you begin to have automatic sequence. By the time you delete anyone, the sequence will automatically disappear. So we've set our automatic sequence. We have our description. Here, this is where we enter our quantity, and this is where we enter our unit price. So the amount will be equals to what is here multiplied by this. That will give us the amount, and then we can drag this down to this place, and then we have it. But we don't want to have all these annoying zeros in our invoice by the time we want to prepare. So let's simply get rid of them. Now what we can do is that we come here and we use an if statement to simply get rid of all these annoying zeros. So let's use an if statement. We want to say if this particular column is greater than 0, when it is greater than 0, we want Excel to perform this calculation, or else we want Excel to return an empty string, and then we close, and then we press enter, and then we drag, we apply down. So if you don't enter anything in these places, this will actually remain empty for something actually there. So let's just say product A. Let's say we have quantity and the price is 2,000, and then you see automatically this place will automatically populate. So we are done with that. Here we can come to subtotal and say equals to sum. The sum will be all of this, the sum of all of this. Then we enter, press on enter. Sorry, I didn't pick all the columns. So equals to sum will be all of these to this place. Then we press on enter. Then VAT, for example, Nigeria is 7.5%, so you may customize to whatever one is applicable in your region or in your country, and you can add other details like discount and all of that to this info. It's highly customizable, but we'll just leave it simple like this. So to get that, we say equals to this amount, whatever it is here, multiplied by 7.5%. That's what we Nigeria government charge currently for VAT, multiplied by 7.5%, and then we press on enter, and then we have it. So the grand total will be the summation of this. So here I'll say equals to sum, and then I will sum this, and then I have it. So this is where you enter your payment details, account name, account number, bank, the sort code, and all of that and all of that. This is where you enter a message to your customer. You can put the terms and conditions of the service you want to render in this box. So you have a very big box to write every other thing. You can insert your signature. So let's do that. Go to insert picture from this device, and then we can insert. As you can see, let me go to the picture format. You can remove the background, and then we keep changes, and then you see it. So we now have our picture. You can reduce it to make sure that it fits to where we want to have it, and then we have it. So we can equally crop it. So let me click on this crop, we drag it, crop it, and then crop it, and then we leave it that way, and then you can see it. So from here we can then expand it a bit, and then we have it. So this is signature. Let's see how our invoice is looking. You can see it is actually looking, it's looking very nice. And then we are done with everything that we need to do. Now, other thing we want to do is that we want to automate this invoice. So let's go ahead. We've linked to this customer database. We want to link to this place so that every details that we enter in this place, the invoices that we export here, we want to have their record stored in this place for record purpose. And then, so let's go. So let's automate this entire process. Now, the next thing we should do is that since we want to automate, we are going to use VBA and macro. So let's save this invoice as a macro enabled workbook so that we can do that. So we come to, and then we say save as, and then we want to select a place. We want to select, I want to save it on my desktop, and then I click here and select macro. Now, the first thing we are going to do about this automation is that first we want to be able to print this PDF as this invoice as a PDF. As you can see, we have it in the preview. So let's design a system that will be able to print it as a PDF and then export it. So the first thing we are going to do is that let's go to our developer, come to developer. If you don't see your developer within your ribbon, this is your ribbon. You don't see your developer within your ribbon. It's very simple. You simply have to right click on any of the tab and click on customize ribbon. This box will pop up, and then you simply have to check your developer this way and click on OK, and it will be visible. So when you are in your developer, you click on feature basics, and then you will want to say insert module. So click on insert and click on insert module, and then you have this. So let me bring up my notepad. We just copy the code and paste so that we can move very fast. Now I have this notepad. The first sub that we want to print is that we want to print as PDF. So I will simply highlight and copy this line of code and come to here, and then I'll paste. Now what we want to do with this sub is that we want this macro to actually print this invoice as a PDF for us. So these are declaration of variables, and then the invoice number in C10, we have all of this. The invoice number is in cell C10, the client name is in cell H10, and then the name of the file will be the concatenation of the invoice number and the customer name. So as you can see, let me bring out this. So this is a invoice number, cell C10, the customer name, cell H10. So the concatenation of both will be the file name for this particular invoice. So we have all of that, and then we have set our print area. So that's all we are. So after successful export, we are going to get a message that says invoice exported successfully. Now, but before we do that, we need to create a folder, a link where this invoice will go. So what we will do is that I'll minimize all of this. On my desktop, I'm going to create a folder. So I will say new, and then I'll create a folder. You can give it any name. So let me just say so I have the name of the folder to be automated invoice template. I'll open the folder, and then I'll click here and copy this part. It's very, very important. This is the part that everything will export. This is the part that will go. So this part, I'll simply right click and then I'll copy it, and then I'll go back to my invoice here where we are working, and then here, this is where I need to paste this part. It's very, very important. This is where our invoice will definitely be exported to. This particular part is very essential. You need to create a part also on your system. By the time you get this template, you need to replace my own part with the part on your own system. Create a folder and copy there and copy the part. So that's one thing. So with this, what can we do with it? We can go to our invoice. We can go to our invoice and we can go to our invoice and say, oh, let's, under developer, can come to insert and say we can insert a form control, a button. We click on button and then we drag it this way. I want to have it this way, and then it says this is the first one that we have. So we select it, the first macro that we have, we select it, and then we click on OK. As you can see, now we want to right click and edit the text. So I want to give it a name and say print PDF, and then I will highlight it. I'll go to the home tab, I'll bring it there. We want to increase the font a bit and then bold it as the case may be. Increase the font a bit, bold it as the case may be, and then I say that this is okay. I will right click once again, and then what I will do is that I want to put an icon to print as PDF. So let me import an icon. I'll go to insert. Let's do that to make it distinct, and then say let's import an icon from desktop icon, then print as PDF. This is a PDF icon. I will insert, then I can simply here, let me just put it to 1.5 centimeter, and then you see it. So I can just drag it here, and then you see that I think this is good enough, and then I will right click and then press on my shift key, select the two, and then I will group it together to make a button. And as you can see, so we are done with the first button that we want to use to automate this invoice, and it is called print as PDF. So let's say we have prepared our invoice. We can test. This is our invoice number. We can test and say click print as then we have it import invoice exported successfully. Click on OK. If we go to that particular folder, you see that we have this. You can see the digit 1 send this invoice automatically to our customer by mail. So let's insert a new, paste this code. Don't forget that you need to input the part, this same part. You need to copy it. This is the same part that we'll be using throughout. You need to copy it and locate where the part is in this line of code, and this is where we are going to have the file part. So paste this file part here. Without the file part, it's not going to work. So there's need for you to create a folder, copy the part and all of that. So, and I want to bring to your attention that you need to set up your Outlook for this sending of email to work. So set up your Outlook like a normal Gmail account. Just go to Outlook and sign in with your, you can create a new account, you can sign in with your existing Gmail account on your system. So this is Outlook. I've done mine. With this now we can send our we can send our invoice as an email automatically to our customer. So let's look at most important stuff in this second sub. We have the sub to be print as PDF, sent by mail. These are declaration of variables, and then we've set Outlook as an object. So these are details. This is the details that the macro will get from this file part and all of that. And then it will check whether the file actually exists. And if not, instead of an error, instead of it to send an error, then that is the this line of code. So we can move ahead, and then here we have the subject area. You can take a look at this and replace it with whichever subject area that you want, but I've just put all of this. So please find attach your, you can see this is it, and then please find attach and all of that and all of that. So you can actually check your subject area. And then another thing is that the mail, this is where it will actually go. For example, this is the recipient mail, and then the body, and then the attachment. So it will be attached, and every other thing will. So when it is successful, you get a message like we did in the other one that it has been sent. So it has been sent. You get a message. So I think that is all that we need to do. Now you can go to our displays and also create a new button. Insert, create a new button from here. So we can drag it this way, make it similar, and then we select this, and then we can edit text. Can edit the text as sent as email. We want to format this text. Let's format this text. Go to the home tab and select this. Increase the font to around 16 as we have it, 16 or 14. Bold it, and then we have this. So we have this. So let's put an icon from insert picture. You can put an icon as mail icon. This is a mail icon. Put it. Let's set it to 1.5 centimeter. Let's drag it to this place, and then we can hold on, right click this, and then we group it together, and then the two are good to go. Now the third one that we want to do is that we should be able also to send this as a WhatsApp, as the case may be. So how do we do that? Let's just copy the next line of code. This invoice will be available for download in the description. So Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and then we go to here, and then we put in this code, Ctrl V, and then this code we send actually as WhatsApp. Now note that WhatsApp does not have a direct application that can send automatically, but what this line of code will do is that it will launch automatically your WhatsApp, and you are able to attach the file manually and send to your customer. So the range are here. Now the phone number is in cell H12. Please take note of that. It's in cell H12, and then every other stuff that you need to notice. So let's see every other stuff that we need to notice about this code, and then we want to we actually launch the WhatsApp URL. This line of code will launch the WhatsApp URL, and it will prompt you to attach the invoice. And this place also, this is the body of the message. You can see I've attached my own WhatsApp number, my name, so that by the time I send all this will be automatically attached to read. So that is that about that. Now we can go to this the Excel and have a new button. We go to developer, we insert this, and then draw it again. Let's draw it again this way, and then this is the sub that we want this time around. Let me edit the text. Then you can say send WhatsApp. Send WhatsApp. And then we want to go to home, do this, increase this a bit, and then bold it as the case may be, and then we have it. So let's insert the WhatsApp icon to make it look more professional. WhatsApp icon, and then let me just put it to 1.5 centimeter, and then I want to drag it here, and then hold on the shift key, right click and group. Right click and group. Right click. Where we have our feature basis, and then we simply put this, just paste the code, and then let's see what this code is all about. It will save the most important details about this invoice from here, from this invoice page, to transfer the details to this very place. That's what this code is actually doing. So let's see the most important details about it. Now, all these are declaration of variables. Now, this is what we want to get from here. For example, to get the invoice number, to get the these values in C10, HC11, H10, H12, and J35, B14, and all of that. To get all the details that are most important. So let's see what are the details that we get. Now C10, C11, what is there? H10, H12, B14, and J35. So let's see what are the details in those places. Let's see C10 and C11. Now in our invoice, this is C10, the invoice number, C11, the date and the time. Now the first thing that we get, and transfer it for us, and then it will get H10, H12, B14. Now let's see that. Now H10, this is H10, H12, and B14. So B14, where you have the summary, a kind of a title for your invoice, B14. And then lastly, it will get J35. So let's see what is in J35. You get J35. This is J35 to get the subtotal of it will get the subtotal of the invoice. Now you can add that of the VAT and the grand total by adding it automatically. So those are the details that it will get for you, and transfer it to the invoice details. So also we need to include the part. So let's put in the part here. Sorry. So let's copy the part from here. It's not the part. So we have the part here located in this place. You can copy this part. So we also need the part in that very place to copy, and then we scroll down, and then this is where we put the file part, so that our invoice will be exported the way it should be. So when all is done, it will give a message that has been saved automatically. Now let's include that button. Let's include that button. Come here, we insert, and then we want to put it this way, and then we say This is this save invoice to log. We want to include it. We right click, we edit the text. Just want to have it as save. Then we edit this text, and then I want to comment, increase the font a bit, and then bold it. Then I will want to insert the picture to it. I insert picture and pick this save icon. Then put as 1.5. I'll put it, save, and then I will hold down, right click, and group it together as the case may be. So we have 4 buttons, and the last button will clear the record of invoice. For example, after filling all these places and you want to issue a new invoice, you don't have to delete manually. So this invoice, this macro will actually clear it and make it ready for a new entry. So let's do that. We head straight to this place, and then we copy this line of code, copy, and then we come here, we come to this very place, and then we put it at the bottom. Then we head to our invoice to insert the button, go to developer, insert this button, and then we have this. So we clear, then we want to edit text, then you can name it as a clear, and let me highlight it and increase, and then bold it, and then put it there, and then I may want to insert it to 1.5. So we now have our 5 buttons. Let me try and select this. We have our 5 buttons ready. Then we have our button for complete automation. This we actually print as PDF. This we send as email. This we send as WhatsApp. This will save the record of the invoice, and then this will clear the invoice. Now, after we have done all of these, now let's test what we have done, whether it is actually working. Let's test what we have done, whether it is actually working. Let's see. So to do that, I'm going to close this. I will save this. I've saved it. Now it is saved. Now, first and foremost, this invoice that we have prepared, let's test this button and say save. Then you see that invoice record saved to invoice details. Click on OK. Let's go to invoice details. Now, what are the stuff that it picked? It picked the invoice number, it picked the date and time, it picked the name of the customer, it picked the phone number, it picked the purpose, because I didn't put any purpose here. I'm supposed to put the title here. It picked it, and then it picked the amount, and then you have a link to the invoice that you can open directly. So if you open this, click on the link from the Excel to take it where the invoice. Let's prepare an invoice and test what we have done. Now that that we are done with our work now, let's prepare a new invoice to actually test what we have done, whether it is correct. So I'm going to enter some dummy products. So the title, this is the invoice number. This is the invoice that we have prepared. Let's see. So we now have our invoice, as you can see. Let's check the preview. As you can see, this is how it looks. And then we have every other thing. Everything has been set. We have the total amount, every other thing. You may write a message here, which are candidates here. We have set the print area. So let's test all these are buttons. Now the first one we are going to test is print as PDF. Is successful. I can say send. Now let's send as email. So the email that will be picked is the one in H13, the one that is displayed in H13. That's the one that will be picked by the macro and send the invoice to automatically. So let's print by saying send as email, and let's see. And as you can see, we have a confirmation email that this invoice has actually been sent to this email address. So that's how it's going to be by the time you actually sending to all your customer. It is successfully done. And then we click on OK. I'm going to show you the mail later. WhatsApp, let's launch it. It will launch your WhatsApp, and then we'll continue. And then we're able to attach it, as you can see, to the person, sent to the person on WhatsApp. So we return to our Excel, and as you can see, it is successful. Now the fourth one, we click on this, and then we see that it is successful. So let's check whether it has been exported, and then you see it. So we have the second one. You can see the invoice number, you can see the date, you can see the name of the customer, the phone number of the customer, the title, the amount that we in our invoice, and then this will actually give you the access to open the invoice directly. In case you want to view it, you can open it directly by clicking on this link. Show you the invoice, are able to open it directly, and as you can see, you want to view it in the start. And then lastly, this macro, let's check. This macro is irreversible. Make sure you want to clear it. We clear this range that we have specified and make the invoice ready for a new entry. So let's see. You click on clear, and then you see everything disappears, and then it is done. So this is a complete automation for your business. The invoice is in the description of this lesson. Please download, make use of it. And if you have any question or comment, you can drop it. I'll reach out to you. Thank you so much. Please, if you have learned anything, if you think that this is useful, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you.